Burkina Faso has been in the headlines for years, but not for the reasons its citizens would want. Insecurity, insurgency, and regional instability painted a grim picture of a country struggling to stay afloat. But then something changed. Within just 1 year, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso started rewriting its narrative on defense and security. What's behind this remarkable shift? What lessons does it hold for other nations? Let's break it down. Chapter 1. Burkina Faso's struggles. Since 2015, life in Burkina Faso has been anything but easy. The country was stuck in a deep crisis, facing constant political chaos, rising terrorist threats, and crushing poverty. For years, people lived under the weight of fear and uncertainty, wondering if things would ever get better. Political instability was a huge part of the problem, but politics was only one side of the struggle. Terrorist attacks, which started hitting the country hard in 2016, grew worse each year. Extremist groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State spread fear and violence across the land, forcing people to abandon their homes and livelihoods. What used to be thriving villages and busy markets turned into ghost towns. Schools were destroyed, making it impossible for children to continue their education, and farmers couldn't tend to their crops because of the constant threat of attacks. With trade routes blocked and food supplies running low, hunger and desperation took over. On top of all this, poverty weighed heavily on the people of Burkina Faso. More than 40% of the population lived below the poverty line, struggling to afford basic necessities like food and healthcare. The United Nations estimated that by 2023, over 6.3 million people would need emergency humanitarian aid just to survive. The country's high population growth, recurring droughts, and poor road networks only made things worse. By 2024, over 2 million Burkinabés had been forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in overcrowded and poorly equipped camps. Families were crammed into makeshift shelters with limited access to food, clean water, and medical care. Disease and malnutrition ran rampant, and children suffered the most, many losing access to education as schools in conflict zones were shut down or destroyed. For these young people, the future looked bleak. Without education, their opportunities to escape poverty and violence dwindled. The dream of a better life seemed impossible, and hopelessness spread through the country like wildfire. For everyday people, life was a daily battle. Stepping outside meant risking an encounter with armed groups, and the once lively streets became dangerous and deserted. With so many roads under terrorist control, getting food and medicine was nearly impossible. Communities were isolated, and it felt like the entire nation was sinking into hopelessness. Chapter 2. A government paralyzed by corruption. Amidst this turmoil, the government struggled to provide even the most basic services. Corruption was rampant, with resources meant for development or security disappearing before reaching those in need. Decision-making was slow and ineffective, and the military, underfunded and under-equipped, was losing the fight against insurgent groups. Soldiers lacked proper training and gear, and morale plummeted. Many felt abandoned by their leaders, and desertion rates soared. For the average citizen, it felt like the government had completely given up on them. Protests erupted across the country, demanding change, but little action was taken. The erosion of trust in the government, military, and future was perhaps the most devastating blow. Burkina Faso, once known for its resilience and cultural vibrancy, had become a symbol of chaos and despair. Burkina Faso had hit rock bottom, and people were desperate for change. They needed a leader who could bring back stability, security, and hope. Chapter 3. A glimmer of hope. In the darkest moments, however, resilience often emerges. In Burkina Faso's case, that resilience took the form of bold leadership and unwavering courage. Ibrahim Traoré, a leader with a vision for change, stepped onto the stage when the nation needed him most. But this wasn't just a story about one man. It was about an entire people refusing to give up. Traoré's leadership ignited a sense of unity and determination among Burkinabés. His belief that change was possible inspired a collective effort to rebuild the country from the ashes. Communities came together to resist insurgents, protect their lands, and support one another in ways they hadn't before. Slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. Traoré's bold initiatives focused on restoring security and revitalizing the economy. His administration worked tirelessly to reclaim territories lost to extremist groups, enabling families to return to their homes. Farmers began to plant their fields again, and markets that had once been deserted started to bustle with activity. Infrastructure was rebuilt, trade routes were secured, and access to essential supplies was restored. These efforts didn't just stabilize the economy, they also restored hope. For the first time in years, people could envision a future where they and their children could thrive. Chapter 4. A new vision for Burkina Faso. Traoré's approach was bold and direct. His leadership focused on three core pillars: restoring security. Traoré restructured the military, ensuring that troops were better trained and equipped to combat insurgent threats. By working closely with local communities, he regained control of key areas and restored a sense of security that had been missing for years. Reviving the economy, recognizing that stability depended on economic recovery, Traoré introduced initiatives to support farmers and small businesses. Trade routes were secured, allowing essential goods to flow again. Farmers were given access to resources, and local economies began to stabilize. Rebuilding trust. Perhaps most importantly, Traoré focused on rebuilding trust between the government and its people. He engaged with communities, implemented transparent policies, and held corrupt officials accountable. Slowly but surely, confidence in the future began to return. Chapter 5. Jobs and opportunities. Traoré knew that one of the root causes of extremism was poverty and unemployment. With millions of young people entering the job market every year and not enough opportunities to support them, many were left vulnerable to extremist recruitment. To address this, his government launched job training programs in fields like farming, carpentry, and technology. These programs didn't just provide skills, they provided opportunities for people to rebuild their lives. Women were also given a key role in the economic recovery. Traoré's administration provided microloans and business training to help women start their own enterprises, enabling them to support their families and strengthen their communities. The government also created thousands of jobs through public works projects, such as building roads, repairing infrastructure, and developing local industries. These initiatives not only provided employment, but also contributed to the nation's long-term development. Chapter 6. Tackling extremism at its core. Traoré understood that extremism couldn't be defeated by force alone. It thrived on poverty, desperation, and misinformation. To combat this, his government launched nationwide education campaigns to counter extremist propaganda and promote messages of unity and resilience. Religious leaders, teachers, and community elders played a crucial role in these efforts, helping spread awareness about the dangers of radicalization and offering support to those at risk. People were taught how to recognize the warning signs of extremism and how to resist its influence. At the same time, Traoré strengthened the justice system to ensure that captured extremists were given fair trials rather than facing vigilante justice. This sent a powerful message that Burkina Faso was a nation of laws, committed to justice rather than revenge. Chapter 7. More than just soldiers. The security situation in Burkina Faso was dire when Traoré took charge. Extremist groups controlled large areas, and the military was struggling with low morale, inadequate resources, and outdated tactics. But Traoré knew that true security couldn't come from force alone. It had to come from a sense of shared responsibility. His first step was to revamp the military, bringing in fresh recruits and improving training programs to create a stronger, more capable force. Soldiers who once felt like they were fighting a losing battle were now equipped with better weapons, surveillance technology, and a renewed sense of purpose. But Traoré also saw the power in community defense. He encouraged villages to form their own defense groups, arming local farmers, shopkeepers, and parents with the tools and knowledge to protect their homes. These groups worked closely with the military, helping to reclaim areas once lost to insurgents and restoring a sense of security that hadn't been felt in years. Chapter 8. Beyond the battlefield. While military victories were crucial, Traoré recognized that the real fight was in rebuilding lives. Displaced families needed more than just a place to sleep. They needed hope, stability, and a sense of belonging. His administration set up relief camps across the country, offering food, clean water, medical care, and a safe space for those who had lost everything. But Traoré wasn't interested in temporary solutions. He pushed for long-term recovery by focusing on rebuilding destroyed communities. One of his top priorities was education. Schools that had been abandoned or destroyed were rebuilt, not just structurally, but with qualified teachers, new supplies, and mental health support for children who had witnessed unthinkable horrors. These efforts helped children regain a sense of normalcy and gave them the tools they needed for a better future. Chapter 9. Breaking free from Western dependence. For years, Burkina Faso, like many African nations, relied heavily on Western aid, but aid often came with strings attached. Financial help in exchange for compliance with policies that didn't always align with the country's needs. Traoré had other ideas. He sought out new partnerships with Russia, China, and other nations that treated Burkina Faso as an equal partner rather than a charity case. This strategic shift brought in advanced technology, military support, and economic investments without the restrictions that Western aid often imposed. With new allies, Traoré was able to rebuild infrastructure, including roads, hospitals, and schools, all while strengthening the military with better resources and training. More importantly, Burkina Faso was finally in control of its own destiny, no longer dictated by outside influences. Chapter 10. A nation reunited. But the recovery of Burkina Faso wasn't just about political leadership. It was about the resilience and determination of its people. Families who had lost everything found strength in each other. Communities devastated by violence banded together to rebuild, brick by brick. This sense of collective purpose was vital in driving the nation's comeback. It wasn't easy, and the scars of the past remained. But the people of Burkina Faso showed the world that even in the face of overwhelming odds, a united nation can achieve the impossible. Today, Burkina Faso stands as a testament to the power of resilience and leadership. While challenges remain, the country's progress is undeniable. Schools are reopening, fields are yielding crops again, and markets are alive with commerce. Most importantly, the people have reclaimed their sense of agency and hope. Traoré's story and Burkina Faso's journey are reminders that even when a nation hits rock bottom, it can rise again. The key lies in the courage to believe in change, the strength to act collectively, and the determination to never give up. The story of Burkina Faso under Captain Ibrahim Traoré exemplifies how a nation, when united and resolute, can confront and overcome profound adversities. The Burkinabe experience serves as an inspiration, demonstrating that with visionary leadership and collective effort, even the most daunting challenges can be surmounted. Chapter 11. A new dawn for Burkina Faso. The transformation under Ibrahim Traoré's leadership has been nothing short of extraordinary. From reclaiming lost territories to revitalizing the economy and fostering unity, Burkina Faso has taken massive strides toward a brighter future. The military is stronger than ever, communities are rebuilding, and the people are filled with a newfound sense of hope. But perhaps the most exciting part of this journey is that it's just the beginning. Traoré's vision goes beyond immediate recovery. He envisions a Burkina Faso that is truly independent, self-reliant, and a model for other African nations. By investing in education, economic empowerment, and national pride, he is laying the groundwork for a future where the country no longer relies on foreign aid, but stands proudly on its own. There are still challenges ahead. But if the past few years have shown anything, It's that Burkina Faso is capable of overcoming them. With strong leadership and a united population, the possibilities are limitless. As Burkina Faso continues its journey toward peace and prosperity, the international community watches closely, hopeful that this West African nation will emerge stronger and more unified than ever before. If you found this story inspiring, make sure to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more content on Burkina Faso and other untold stories from across Africa. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.